Hello YouTube, my name's Jeff, and today I wanted to share just a few of the upgrades and thoughts on my new Ariel Rider X-Class 52 volt e-bike. I really wanted to make this video to share a couple of the upgrades that I've done or modifications. Certainly the YouTube community's provided me with a lot of info and ideas for this bike, so just wanted to share back. So that being said, this is, again, my new 52 volt bike. I got this back in mid-December. Time flies. Ordered it in the middle of August, so about 4 months to get the bike, which, given everything going on in the world today, is not too bad. So got about 80 miles on the clock, on the odometer, and most of those have been very little pedaling, I'll say, and a lot of wide open runs. So super fun bike to just cruise around on. More of an electric moped, in my opinion, than a true mountain bike or pedal bike, if you will. But that's exactly what I wanted, so it worked for me. But a couple of the upgrades that I did, really based around comfort and size. I'm about 6'2", fairly long legs, so the distance from the seat down to the pedals and from the seat to the handlebars was just a little too cramped for me. So that's kind of the areas that I went after. So first modification up front here, I've got a set of BMX bars. These are, Box is the brand. I was not familiar with that brand before getting into this, but a nice set of BMX bars. Great thing here is they bolt right into the stock gooseneck, so I didn't have to change the gooseneck out as some of the other bars require because it's the same size. And then all the Ariel OEM parts fit. So the grips fit, no modifications. The throttle, of course, brakes, gear shift, the computer there on the other side along with the bell. Everything mounted up just fine to these aftermarket bars. So really nice is they're a lot taller and they're wider as well. So a lot more comfortable for me, more upright seating position. So probably my favorite upgrade so far that I've done to the bike. Bolted on here, I've got a half knee, just a bar end mirror. Little guy, you pull the plug out of the handlebar, it goes into the handlebar, mounts real easy. Got that on Amazon, as well as this phone mount here. It's a Tackform is the brand. Again, it wasn't cheap. It was about 50 bucks, but it's all made out of aluminum. It's got a nice, real strong spring here that retains your phone. You can twist it around to portrait or landscape based on your preference. So that's kind of it for the modifications on the front end of the bike. So moving back here, this was just kind of an experiment that grew and probably not done with it yet. But you know, there's no way to raise the seat height on this cafe style bike, right? So a traditional bike, you've got a stem and a post, and you can raise and lower the seat as you need to. So really, this distance to the pedal was just too short for me. You know, like I said earlier, don't pedal this bike a lot. Mostly use it as an e-moped, if you will. But wanted the ability to be able to pedal a little more comfortably. So my goal was to raise the seat up 3 inches. So version 1.0 of this mod, which you see here, I've covered it up with some Gorilla Tape. So before I did that, there's 2 3/4 inch pieces of plywood. So I traced the outline of the seat on top of plywood. Got the trusty jigsaw out. Again, I'm no woodworker by any stretch of the imagination, but I was able to cut out 2 pieces of 3/4 inch plywood in the general shape of the seat, and then worked it with a belt sander a little bit. So I used that bottom piece, bolted it to the frame using the existing holes, right? So I didn't want to drill any new holes in the frame of my new bike. Again, I may at some point in the future, but so bolted the bottom piece of 3/4 inch plywood, you can kind of see here through the Gorilla Tape, to the frame, and then bolted another piece to the bottom of the seat. So then in between here, I've got 3 2x2 wood strips. So one here, one here, one here. And again, I've been able to attach, you know, the top to the bottom of the plywood. So everything's bolted together real sturdy now. So again, this is giving me 3 inches of additional seat height. So maybe it doesn't look that cool, look that great when you're sitting on it. Nobody can really tell. But those 3 inches of extra leg room and 3 inches of rise to the handlebars really made a big difference. Again, it's 6'2". I'm on the balls of my feet, right? Not my tippy toes, but it might be a little tall for some people, but it worked out for me. And I've got visions of maybe getting some 3-inch aluminum tubing, square 3-inch aluminum tubing, cutting that and drilling it. That would save some weight, obviously, and some complication there. Just have three pieces of 2-inch channel aluminum, bolt the seat to that, then bolt that to the frame. So I may or may not get around to that. I've also been waiting on the long saddle to come in stock at Ariel Rider. So again, I'm on the wait list. Just got another email this morning. Hey, they're back in stock. Went to the website. They're not in stock. So that long saddle would give you the ability to slide further back from the handlebars and from the pedals and give you a longer reach. But anyway, this has worked out pretty well. And again, the bike's a total blast to ride. It goes 32 miles an hour, even with my size on there. No problem at all. So it really pulls away hard from stop signs and stoplights. So it's fun to get a reaction out of people there. So enjoying that part. And then finally out to the back here, I did take the passenger pegs off, just wasn't going to use those, especially with a solo saddle. I might put those back on once I get the long saddle and try that out. I'm still running on the stock tires. I'm looking at those Shinko 244s. They really look nice. I like the tread pattern and the size of those Shinkos, but I have heard that they're quite a bit heavier, and by adding weight, unsprung mass, if you will, to the bike, it might slow things down, might decrease the range. I haven't had any flats yet, again on the stock tires, but with only 80 miles on there and most of that on the street, I guess I wouldn't expect to have any flats yet. So we'll think about the tires for a future upgrade. And finally, around back here, my original design was to run the milk crate. I like the look of the milk crate on the cafe style bike, but really got tired of waiting again for that accessory rack. That rear rack from Ariel Rider is out of stock. It's been out of stock ever since I ordered the bike back in August, so have not been able to get my hands on the long saddle or the rear rack. So busted out the good old jigsaw again. Made a couple pieces of 2x2 here, real simple. Bolted those 2x2s again through the stock holes in the rear of the bike there. Didn't drill any additional holes, so bolted those 2x2s through to the frame, made that attachment, and then get you in here. This is a YesCom tail pack. I think it's a 30 liter. Got it on Amazon. Not as nice as a Givi, I'll just put it out there. But it was only $60, including the base plate. So I thought, well, give this a try until the Ariel rack comes back in stock. I didn't want to spend a lot of money. So it's got a lock on here. This locking mechanism is kind of flimsy, kind of cheap, but it gets the job done. It'll hold a helmet. It'll hold a 12-pack of your favorite adult beverage. Got my lock in here right now, so fairly handy. And then it attaches to its own base plate with this button down here. There we go. So you can lift the tail pack off, and again, there's that base plate. So the reason I had to go to the wood option was none of these holes, none of these channels in this base plate line up with the 4 holes in the back of the Ariel Rider. So again, I didn't want to drill any holes in the frame until I get the factory rack back in. So what I did was I just used some probably 1/4-inch diameter wood screws. So I bolted those down, bolted this rack into the wood strips here using some wood screws. So it's sturdy, it's not going anywhere. Again, the strips are mounted to the frame and this rack is mounted to the wood. So again, not overly proud of having wood on my cool aluminum super high-tech bike, but it's working for now. So again, may upgrade that in the future. So I think that's going to do it. Again, if you're interested in the Ariel Rider or in an e-bike, I highly recommend this one. Ton of fun, 0 complaints, 0 issues. Customer service appears to be great from those folks if you do have an issue. And again, I've had none. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you got any questions or comments, leave them down below. I am not a professional YouTuber. You probably figured that out about 10 minutes ago. So, but just wanted to share a few of the things that I've done. So take care, and we'll see you on the next one.